Previously on Survivor.
Congratulations, Lily. Come up and get your immunity.
I think I just found a hidden immunity.
I'm flipping again. Surprise.
I feel this urge to play my idol, and I just do not want to play it incorrectly.
And the 12th person voted out, and the 4th member of our jury, Savannah.
Lily, congratulations, you have won immunity. I found an advantage a few weeks ago that allows me to leave tribal council without voting and without getting any votes on myself, and I would like to play it this week.
12th person voted out, Survivor Syracuse, new era, the 5th member of our jury, Eli. Alright, so we are here with the final 6. Parker, how are we feeling?
So good. I'm so excited. I'm so happy I'm here.
Well, with that being said, really, I need to take back the immunity. So once again, this is up for grabs. I will like to take it away with the challenge of the day.
Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so for today's challenge, we're going with the holiday theme right now. A little Easter egg hunt action. So how this is gonna work is where you guys are gonna be waiting outside. There's gonna be 5 separate rounds where one of you will be eliminated each time. There's gonna be 1 less egg hidden than the amount of people left. So for the first round, there will be 5 eggs and 6 of you. The person who did not find an egg ends up is eliminated, and then it just keeps going on 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2. Last person standing will have a 1 in 5 chance at winning this game, and will also receive an idol clue to give out to a new hidden immunity egg. You guys ready to start?
So, how this is going to work is that you find an egg, you bring your thing in the front of this room, with the basket, your egg in the basket, you stand behind her when you're done.
You guys ready? Go! Go!
Alright, as I said, there are 3 eggs left. You know, by now you have 10 minutes, last person can get it by then. It's eliminated, but we're going to find an egg into any other questions.
Survivors ready? Go!
Alright, this is the 4th round of the Lily Get Getting the Lily last round. It's down to Casey, Ben, and Andrew. As always, there's a limit. There are 2 eggs left. You guys ready to go?
Yeah. Survivors ready? Yeah. Go!
Alright, in the final round, we have Casey versus Andrew for a 1 in 5 shot of being the sole survivor.
Go!
Is that boat still slightly Is it?
Andrew wins!
Are you serious?
Yes! Alright, Andrew, come on up. Congratulations, you now have a 1 in 5 shot chance of winning this game. And you also have to pick someone now to give an idol to. Who will that be?
Well, okay, so when I almost went to take a right challenge, I wanted to not give me and didn't. And then when Savannah and I almost got close, I gave it to her, so I feel like the right thing to do would be to give it to her.
Alright, Casey, you will be receiving an idol clue and now it's round to a new hidden of the idol and then there you go.
There's a, we will see you guys on Thursday for tribal council. One of you will be the 13th person voted out, and the 6th member of our jury, Andrew, as of now has a 1 in 5 shot of winning Survivor Syracuse New Era. And that's all I have for you guys now. I'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you.
Final 6? Let's get it.
So the last challenge did not go well for me, unfortunately. I was not a good Easter egg hunter, which is annoying, but luckily it honestly worked out well because Andrew won immunity, which is annoying because he probably would have been the easy name to tell, say Ben and Mel or whatever, and that makes it a little harder now, but he won, but he gave the clue to Casey, which is just perfect because she's obviously my closest ally in this game.
So the idol clue is now coming out pretty much any minute now. It's 5 minutes away from 1 o'clock when Luke said it would be sent. Casey told me already that she would be sending it to me. I just texted her just now to be like, all right, let me know when you get it. I told Ben and Mel that I would send it to them right at 1. I'm gonna start heading up towards main campus, assuming it's gonna be somewhere in that area.
But Casey gets her clue at 1 today, and she has some kind of meeting or something, so she can't go looking right at 1. And Andrew texted her saying, can you send me the clue right at 1? Which is that's it's scary to me. So basically what she said to me is that she's gonna send me the clue at 1, and she's gonna tell Andrew that Luke hasn't sent the clue yet. I don't know. Maybe I guess I'd be worried that Andrew would text Luke and say, did you send the clue? And Luke would say yes, and then that would kind of ruin that cover.
I think everyone has kind of heard of the whole idol fiasco. Basically, long story short, what happened was I couldn't go get the idol. I had to get my COVID shot, and I was in a meeting and I wasn't allowed to miss it. And then, but I didn't want it just to be hanging out there. And I knew that if I didn't tell Andrew about the idol, if I was like, no, I'm not telling you the idol clue, I would automatically be a threat, and at that, or he wouldn't want to work with me. And that's what Parker and I were talking, and Mel and I were talking, because I'm in a final 2 with both of them kind of. And I didn't want to make Andrew my enemy quite yet. So I was like, I have to give it to him, but I can't be there. So I'm like, Parker, run and get it. Go get it right now. I sent it to him. I knew he was on campus, so I sent it 5 or 10 minutes after I sent it to Parker. 5 or 10 minutes later, I sent it to Andrew.
Been out looking for the idol. Ben and I met at a certain spot, and after we were there for 2 minutes, we ran into Parker being I already looked through this whole thing, and he was he just shut up and kept looking. But so much for Casey not telling him. We're kind of upset.
So my immediate first thought about where it could be was out at the quad. It was kind of indicating that it was somewhere really public and seen. And out on the quad where we did tribal at the statue of Persephone, it made perfect sense for it to be there. So I went right there. I looked a little bit, I'm pretty sure it was there. And then I like went over to another statue. I look back and I see Andrew is there.
What happened, let me start with what happened with the idol hunt today, is as soon as Casey got it, she sent it to me. I sent it to Ben and Mel. So Ben and I immediately called and we're like, what do you think, what do you think? And we decided to meet in a spot.
Andrew texts me the clue. Casey still gave Andrew the clue, but Casey also gave the clue to Parker. I'm getting a little bit disorganized, but the point is, since we know they didn't have idols, as long as Parker didn't find the idol this week, we would have been able to send Parker home. That was imperative. Parker could not find the idol, then the 5 of us could vote him out.
So I started looking around the spot that I was like so sure it was. And when Ben got there, we talked for a little bit. And Parker, then we like looked up, or I got a text from Casey that was like, hey, I asked her, you know, where do you think you're gonna look? And she was like, I'm in class, so I sent Parker out. And then I looked up and Parker was right there. He was like, hey, I already like looked here.
I basically walked over, I was like, hey guys, like, because I mean, I needed to look in that area. Like I couldn't just hide and watch them look. I needed to look too. So there was, I mean, I just, they did not want to see me there. They looked, yeah. And then they were looking there for a while. I think they might have found it right then, honestly.
I was like, did you find anything? And he was like, I don't know, huh? I mean, no. Like, he might not have it, but he may as well have.
And then they went over to that like dedication Greek thing that's right in the quad, and I was like, ooh, they were looking there for a while too. It might have been there also. I didn't like make the connection that it could be there. I went and looked after and there was nothing there. So at some point they found it. And then I texted Lily and Mel and I was basically like, guys, did we know about Ben and Andrew's final 2?
Parker starts flipping out and texts Lily and I in a group chat with like the 3 of us. He goes, Ben and Andrew have a final 2 if you didn't know. I saw them, they're looking for the idol, like they definitely found it, like they found it.
We were walking away, we'd given up on the idol hunt, and I called Mel to explain to her that Casey had lied to her and Parker had the clue. And all of a sudden, Mel's like, Ben, stop. And I'm like, what's going on, Mel? I'm like, Parker just texted me, he's watching you. He sees you're on the phone. He just texted me and Lily in a group chat saying that you have the idol, which is not true. I do not have it. I'm like, Mel, I swear to God, you know I was in the middle of just telling you I don't have it. And she's like, yeah, I know. We totally just caught him red-handed. So I immediately like duck, like I run around the corner, like trying to get far out of sight as possible. Finished the conversation with Mel. I explained we can use this to our advantage. You need to tell Lily that you were on the phone with me. You can show her the phone logs, anything you want to do. I'm gonna get off the phone now. I'm gonna go back over and try and like see what they're up to. Because they were still running around that same general area like the idol is, I guess pretending to look for the idol, because I think Parker definitely has it.
I'm like walking home from class and I get a text in a group chat with me, Parker, and Mel. And I'm like, why is this new group chat a thing? And why isn't Casey in it? So Parker texts and he's like, guys, I just like was on the quad and I came across Ben and Andrew looking for the idol. And so I was like, what is going on? And I was walking on the quad, so I like went to meet Parker and like meet him, and he's there and he just seems like really like rattled in a way where he's trying to like cover something up.
And all of a sudden I do see them and they go in opposite directions. So I'm like, okay, I'm a ninja. I walk away back in the opposite direction, cut Lily off once she's like fully out of Parker's sight. I motion Lily over. I'm like, Lily, come here, we have to go. Like, but we can't be watched. And like this is like straight out of a fucking spy movie. We're like looking over our shoulders. I'm like, Lily, everything Parker told you was a lie. None of it was true. I don't have the idol. You have to trust me. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, think about it. Every time Parker's been in trouble in this game, he has completely thrown everybody under the bus. He has a bad habit of doing this. I've never done that. I've lied, I've made mistakes, sure, but I've never thrown anyone under the bus. She's like, I believe you, I trust you.
Basically what happened was Casey sent the clue to Andrew because Andrew gave her the clue in the first place, so she felt obligated.
And Andrew texts Ben and was like, let's go look for it. They get there and Parker's already there looking for it. And they basically are convinced that Parker has an idol. So Parker made up this like whole fabricated lie to try to convince me that he doesn't have an idol, which is just like not smart, because you would think he actually wanted to work with me and that like I'm not dumb.
So we told this all to Mel and Lily, and they're both kind of mad at Casey for giving it to Parker in the first place when she said that she wouldn't.
Casey's just so stupid. She's so dumb. Why'd she do that? Like, she's not a dumb person, but that was just really dumb move.
I do like Mel. I love Mel, and I really could. I think it would be good going to the final two with her, but she has flipped on me multiple times, so I don't want to. I can't 100% trust her, whereas Parker has been my go-to homeboy. The problem with Parker is that, like, if it came down to me and him, the jury would vote Parker. But this is down the line, but I just needed to justify that so people don't think I'm actually insane.
She's trying to get Ben out this week and, like, keep Parker because she wants to, like, sit next to Parker and then I'm like, he has so much of a comeback story, like, that cannot happen. So Casey and Mel. So, Andrew and Ben, I spoke to them. They want Parker out. I'm okay with that.
Casey betraying us and giving Parker the clue puts her with him. And we know the two of them don't have idols. So Andrew and I are walking away. I'm like, don't stress it. It's not a big deal. The plan is at this point, we got to try and get Lily, and the four of us can vote out. Like, we can split the vote, 2 on Parker, 2 on Casey. The votes would tie 2-2-2, and we would just vote out whichever one of them the idol isn't played on.
But then people are thinking for this weekend, in order to, like, I don't know, the whole splitting the votes thing is just like, we're thinking splitting the votes on, what's his face? Casey and Parker. We're like 2-2, and then they vote 2 on Ben. And if Parker plays the idol, it's Casey and Ben, and then we vote out Casey. But I don't want Casey to go home. Like, Lily and I said that too, like, each other. We're just like, like, hopefully Lily and I could pull off this acting job. Like, I think I can, because, like, I think I've been a pretty good actor this whole season. But it's just like, Parker is just the most anxious person ever.
Parker's shifty, and he keeps finding ways to stay alive, and he's unhinged, he lies, and he throws everyone under the bus. It's a great game strategy, but it's very, very frustrating.
I've been trying to get rid of Parker for so long. It would just feel so good to finally do this, and I really hope it works.
I've been saying for a little while now, if you recall, that I don't want to go to that event. So, with that being said, I was like, well, there's no way for me to flip it around this week because it involves having to vote for, like, it involves Lily being part of the plan, and Lily is impossible to pull right now, and blah, 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 right? Well, if they're splitting the votes, 2 Parker, 2 Casey, and Lily and I are supposed to vote for Casey, Andrew and Ben are supposed to vote for Parker. I can go with Casey and Parker and just vote Ben out. Like, I can just do that. And it wouldn't matter whether Parker had a fucking idol or not.
Mel said, yeah, like, I'm down to talk. So this morning we talked, and it honestly went so well. Like, I could tell that she was, like, a little bit nervous, but I kept, like, reaffirming the fact that, like, I wanted to work with her and Lily so bad. Like, I probably made some promises that I can't keep. Like, I told her I would get rid of Lily before her. I'm not sure if I would do that or not. I probably wouldn't, honestly, but I told her I would. I kind of, like, I guess played the emotional aspect of it, like saying, like, Mel, like, if you saved me this week, you would have, like, stuck your neck out on the line twice for me, and, like, that would make, like, that's something that, like, I can't replay, and I would be so, like, loyal to you, which is, like, partially true, because that would honestly be, like, so good of her to do that for me, but also, like, I'm probably not gonna stick to my word in that, but whatever.
My fate is essentially in the hands of Lily and Mel, but they seem really, really into this plan. We decided that it would be really smart to try and aggressively lie to Parker, because if we can make him feel safe enough and they're voting me out, he'll save his idol until next week.
And I think she felt kind of burned because she thought that her and Ben were super tight. And hearing that Ben and Andrew were super tight was like shocking to her and made her mad and made her willing to turn on Ben because she kind of recognized that this is probably our only chance, especially if, I mean, they have an idol. Let's say that they had 2 idols, like, now we have to do something now or else they could both be guaranteed Final Four.
Basically, we think that we can convince Lily to vote Ben because now Lily's upset because she's like, well, what? I thought I was close with Ben, but clearly he's closer with Andrew. And Andrew's a challenge threat, and he's a great player. So I think he's played the best game so far. I know everyone doesn't really agree, but I think he is a really good player.
Casey and I FaceTimed last night after everything, and it sort of confirmed to me that, like, she is serious about, like, really truly working together, and, like, I am serious about working with her together. Like, I'm not playing her. Like, I seriously want to work with her. She doesn't like Ben because she heard that he was like, oh, I want to take her to the end because she'll be easy to beat, which is, like, fine, I don't care, but also I think it's silly, but, like, whatever.
Ben said that he wanted to go to the final 2 with me because he knows he would win, because the jury wouldn't vote for me, which, like, I mean, I'm clearly gonna vote for him now, so it's just about making Ben and Andrew feel comfortable so that the idol that they found, I mean, it's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure they did, it's about making them feel comfortable so they don't use it.
I also made a comment to Eli. I got sloppy in my game management where I said that Casey was a lock for the final 3, and of course he told Parker, and of course Parker told Casey. I feel bad because Casey's a really nice person, and regardless of her gameplay abilities, I don't want her feeling like I'm just dismissing the way that she's playing the game. Do I think that she stands a really good chance of winning? Not really. Is it fair for me to make those type of comments? Also not really, and it's definitely not going to help me win her vote in the end.
So last night I talked on the phone with Mel, Ben, and Andrew, and we seem to be all set for, like, our plan to basically convince Parker that I'm with him and Casey and that we're going for Dross, and that Dross and Andrew are, like, working together, and that's why we want to get out Dross, and that we've made them confident that they're not going because we lied to them saying that we're voting with them when Parker thinks we're voting with him, but we're not. So Mel and I are not voting with Parker and Casey.
I think that Mel and I have a really good relationship, and I think I have a good relationship with Lily too. It'll be tested today. I hope I don't go home. If I do go home, I do go home.
I think this whole, like, everything that I'm doing in this game is actually really working out for me because I think everyone thinks that I am dumb and, like, crazy, and I've done a lot of crazy things, but I'm not crazy. Like, I've done a lot of, like, wild, wacky things that make me look like I don't know anything that's going on, but and sometimes I didn't know what was going on, but a lot of times I do know what's going on, and a lot of times I'm making moves that actively further my game, and this is one of them.
Everyone good? All right, let's get started. How's everyone doing? Good? Let's start off with the challenge first. Parker, how hard is that challenge?
So hard. I thought I had a chance to be good. I was like, oh, this is everyone's on even playing field. No, it was not good for me, but it was hard.
What about for you, Lily?
I liked it. Like, I had a good time doing it, but I agree with Parker that, like, honestly, it felt like kind of lucky. Like, if you just happened to look in the right spot, like, if you thought of somewhere good, then you'd find it. But yeah, I thought it was a really good challenge.
Andrew, you obviously walked away with the win from that challenge. How important was that win for you?
I think very. Based on the last couple of weeks, I think if I didn't have this with me today, I probably would be joining my friends over there on the left.
And you also, with your win, had to give away an idol clue. You decided to give that to Casey. How come you did that?
Why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, why was because the beginning of the merge started with me not getting the clue when I was really close and wanting it. So last time I had a chance, I gave it to Savannah because we basically tied, and I did the same thing because Casey and I were really, really close, and like Lily said, a lot of it was luck. So I felt, you know, it was the right thing to do.
Casey, what'd you end up doing with that? Did you search it all? Did you share it? Did you keep it yourself?
That's a really funny story, actually. So my dumbass wasn't able to go look for the freaking idol because I forgot I had class and I got my COVID shot. So I wasn't able to go, so I panicked, and needless to say, I spread that shit around, so, yeah.
Did you spread it around to everyone, one person?
Oh, I did, yeah. I mean, everyone here knows I sent it to Parker because Parker was on campus. So I was like, go get it, Bean, and then I hate myself to this day for it. Reason, whatever, million my hate COVID. Yeah.
Parker, did you end up sharing it with anyone too, or did you keep it to yourself?
I think it did get a little bit leaked overall. I personally did keep it to myself, but yeah,
Okay. Raise your hand if you haven't seen the idol glow. Everyone's seen it. So Lily, do we think that it's been found since everyone's seen it? We did say it was for a new idol.
I would be pretty shocked if it hasn't been found. I think, honestly, we're all idiots if we didn't find it. If somebody didn't find it.
We're all idiots.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably been found.
All right, Ben, we're at final 6 right now. How does that feel?
Scary. I don't know. Like I'm really proud of myself for getting this far, but there's nothing to hide behind. It's 6.
Mm-hmm. Mel, people say for Survivors, final 6 is the beginning of the end of the game. And people are looking at you, and everyone's looking at the resume for the jury. Do you think people are plotting big moves this week because people are looking at resumes so heavily now?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I mean, that's natural. Sorry, that's a shitty answer, but yeah.
What about you, Andrew? Do you the same question?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, everyone that's left in this game, its final 6, is such a big player and has relationships with like everybody. So I feel like the only way to get anybody out of this point is to make what we would be considered like a big move.
And with big moves comes timing. Ben, how do you know the right time to make a big move?
I don't know. I feel like I made big moves earlier, and like feel like I should have maybe waited to make those. And like that timing is important. You don't want to peak too early. It doesn't mean anything if you're not there to get on your kids.
And big moves also typically include betrayal. Parker, how are you supposed to stab someone in the back and then convince them to vote for you in the final tribal?
I think it's kind of how you stab them in the back. I think if you do it in like a nice way, then it's a little better than if you're very like malicious with it.
How do you do it nicely? Do you just say, I'm sorry, or do you...
You smile, yeah. Oh, is it just a game? Say that kind of thing. That's what I would do.
Mel, with so little people left, are there still true allegiances in this game, or is everyone going for themselves now?
I think there's still true allegiances, because you know, like, yes, it's getting towards the end of the game, but also like, you can't just get from 6 to 3 or 2 by yourself. I mean, you still have to have people by your side, or else you're going to be packing your bags.
Casey, what do you think is more important in the game right now? Do you think it's more important to have tight relationships or strong gameplay?
Can I say both? Because I don't know.
No, that's not. Do whatever you want. The floor is yours.
I would say both. I mean, I'm still kind of just like growing. I've obviously never played before, so I just think like to have like a good balance of both is the way to go.
So with the idea of trying to keep tight relationships but also needing to make a big statement for the jury, Parker, how do you plan for this vote?
Yeah, I think like in the past I've been kind of more thinking about like self-preservation rather than like maintaining those relationships. So I think like this week was really important to like try to reach out to people and like try to build some trust, because I know that I've like lost a lot of trust in the past. So that's been really important for me, I guess.
Lily, does this still feel like it's anyone's game at this point?
Yeah, I would say the same answer as I said last week. It's really up for grabs. I feel like we're all on a pretty equal playing field, and we all like get along, and so I think that's making it like really difficult, kind of whittling down the numbers.
Is there someone in the game who people see typically as one of the bigger threats, or someone who people see as a smaller threat?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, we had the superlatives challenge, and like, you could, I guess, reference that and say like, okay, maybe people think Casey's like a smaller threat, or people think Ben's like a really good strategy threat, but I really think at this point, like, with only 6 of us left, we're all trying to like figure out how to play our best game, especially now. So I don't really think those labels are that necessary.
Andrew, would you agree? You say everyone's trying to play their best game?
Yeah, I definitely think everyone at this point is looking to the end, and I don't think that anybody here, like, we all had to work very hard to get to this point, and I think everyone here was a part of some big move that they could say and put on their resume. So I don't feel like anyone here is sticking out as a small or big threat. I feel like we're all pretty big threats against each other.
Mm-hmm. So Casey, is this a tribal where you get someone out who you think is going to beat you, or is this a tribal where you still try and keep numbers on your side, keep your relationship strong?
I say both. I think both. I think it's like at this point there's so few of us now that you just kind of have to like look at everything like as an overall thing instead of just like a, I don't know, like a tribe or something. I don't know. I say both. Yeah.
And obviously there's getting to the end, but there's also the opposite situation where you have to get taken to the end. Mel, do you make this vote dependent on who's gonna take you to the end too, rather than who you could be in the end?
I mean, obviously everyone would want somebody who they think they could be and also can like would take them, I guess. I don't know. But I think again, like it's, you know, it's important to make it there because it doesn't matter like how good you look if you don't make it there. So you need to, I guess, have people. It's both. I don't want to say both though.
Ben, how important is it to make there rather than make it there against someone who you can sit with?
I think that like everyone's saying both, and that really is what it is. Survivor's very nuanced. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and you're gonna have to come up with a strategy that you think benefits you the best. And whether that is dependent on playing the game early or the game late, depends on what type of moves you're gonna play there. You should be prepared for anything.
Mm-hmm. Parker, there's been a lot of talk about how the end game is gonna play out. What's the consensus within the game? Do we think it's a final 3 or a final 2?
I personally have no idea because, like, out of the Survivor seasons that I've seen, it's been a final 2, but then, like, some people think maybe it'll be a final 3, so I don't think there is a consensus. I don't know.
Well, is there a separate way you play? Do you plan separately for 3 versus a 2, or does the vote this week depend on if it's a final 3 or a final 2?
I don't really know if the vote this week depends on if it's a final 3 or final 2. I think you have to get the numbers down regardless. So like somebody's got to get voted out. I don't think it matters as much in the long term. But I do think the way you interact with other people and like kind of positioning yourself with these last couple votes does matter if you do have a final 3 or final 2.
Of course, I'm gonna ask Andrew. So many tribals, 2 left where you can play idols, none played yet. Do we think one's coming up? Do we suspect it this week?
Yeah, so like we were talking about before, everyone here got an idol clue. I think most people had a chance to look for the idol. I mean, I'll be honest, I went out immediately. I was already up here as soon as I got the clue. I went to the spot that I was like, it must be here, and it wasn't there. So I feel like it's out there. I don't know who has it. I looked in other spots that make sense, and it's not there. I'm pretty confident that something's coming out today.
All right. And with that, does anyone have anything else left to say? All right, Casey, we'll start with you. Go on left.
Really hope I didn't let my cockiness get the best of me this week.
I really hope you don't play an idol.
Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to stand up, drop their buff, and leave the tribal council area immediately. With that said, now is the time for anyone to play a hidden immunity idol or advantage if they would like to do so. Alright, I'll read the votes.
Come on, guys.
First vote, Parker. Second vote, Ben. Third vote, Parker. That's 2 votes Parker, 1 vote Ben, 3 votes left. Next vote, Ben. We're tied. 2 votes Parker, 2 votes Ben, 2 votes left. Fifth vote, Casey. We're at 2 votes Parker, 2 votes Ben, 1 vote Casey, and 1 vote left. Casey. We're at a tie. 2 votes Parker, 2 votes Ben, 2 votes Casey. In the event of a tie, the rules of Survivor state that all of the people who were voted for will not vote again. Everyone else will vote. And you can only vote for the people who receive votes. That is Parker, Ben, and Casey. They're the only people who can take a vote. You good? Yep. All right, Lily, we'll start with you. If we tie again, Parker, Ben, and Casey all become immune. Andrew, you have immunity. So Mel and Lily, you both will draw lots between both the 2 of you. 1 of you will be safe and 1 of you will go home. But now I will get to the votes. First vote, Parker. And the 13th person voted out of Survivor New Era. And the 6th member of our jury. The 5th member of our jury. Parker.
Good game.
Yeah, we're good.
The tribe is spoken.
Mel, Lily, everything I said to you was true. Just so you guys know.
No, it's objectively false. When you called them, when you texted them, she was on the phone with me.
It was her, bro.
I'm sorry. No beef, guys.
There's no beef, but I just don't have an idol. I would have used it this week.
All right, final 5. You got a lot of game left of you still, but we're getting down to the end. I hope you guys are ready. I'll see you guys at your next challenge.
Next time on Survivor.
I feel like this is the first time in a while we've really had a good puzzle challenge.
Survivor's ready. Go!
This is the entirety of what's left of Survivor Season 5.
I'd rather lose, next to one of them than make it, 1 week further to betray them.
Hit the fan, and I'm gonna say it really, really fast.
I think this is my opportunity to make a big move.
And the 14th person voted out of Survivor Syracuse New Era and the 7th member of our jury.
No, they got me. I knew that was a possibility. I guess Ben is playing a lot. He's really, the fact that he clearly, convinced Lily and Mel that I had the idol, I guess, which is not true. So he's got to have it. That's impressive to me that he was able to, sway them so much. I guess I'm just wondering when they knew, because I really was convinced by Mel definitely, that she was with me, but unfortunately she wasn't. But I had a lot of fun, and I made a lot of mistakes that led me here, but I'm happy that I made it as far as I did, and I'm just rooting for Lily or Mel, honestly, at this point. I hope that they can take out Ben, so yeah.